Welcome to Precalculus Concept 13b, polynomial functions and their graphs. And today, this lesson is all about determining end behavior, and there's 4 boxes. Okay, so here we go. Here is box number 1. I'm going to shrink this down so that we can see the entire grid here all at once, okay? And you're going to actually want to copy down the pictures of this to make sketches in your notes. So I'll go ahead and pause it right now while you guys do that. Okay, so here's the deal for end behavior. There's only four possible ways that the end of a graph could behave. So let's take a look at number 1 for just a moment right now. Let's zoom in a little bit on number 1. So the idea here is that this graph is going up on the right and up on the left. So up right and up left, okay? So that's one scenario. The second scenario is that it could be going up on the right and down on the left. Up on the right and down on the left. So the end behavior, up on the right and down on the left. The third way could be up on the left, and then down on the right. Down on the right. That's the third way. And then the fourth and final way is that the end behavior is both going down on the right and down on the left. Okay, so again, these are the only 4 possibilities for the end behavior of polynomial functions. They're either both rising on the right and left, up right down left, up left down right, or down left and down right. Hopefully that part makes sense to you so far. Okay, box number 2 is called the leading coefficient test for polynomial functions, the leading coefficient test. This is a very important box because it gives you a lot of insight as to the end behavior of the graph. So the whole point about box number 2 is connecting the polynomial to the end behavior of the graph. So here's the deal. We're going to look at 2 pieces of information. We're going to look at the leading coefficient. And the leading coefficient is either going to be a positive number or it's going to be a negative number. It's either going to be positive or negative. That's it. And then we're going to take a look at the exponent. And the exponent is either going to be even or it's going to be odd. Because after all of these are positive integers. So they're either even or odd, right? So here are 4 choices here. The leading coefficient is either going to be positive or negative, and our exponent is going to be even or odd, okay? So there are 4 combinations there, and notice there are 4 pictures. So the combination of leading coefficient with exponent is going to guarantee one of the pictures. So let's dive into it right now, okay? If I go up and up, okay, that means that I'm going to have a positive leading coefficient and an even, a positive even polynomial. So the leading coefficient will be positive and the exponent will be even. So as an example, I could have something like f of x equals like 5x to the 6th. That's a positive number of 5 and an even number of a 6, so therefore the end behavior will be up and up. If I have this picture over here, if it's down on the left and up on the right, this is going to be a positive but an odd. Okay, maybe I'll write even down here for you. Okay, positive and odd. So like as an example, I could have f of x is equal to like 5x to the 7th. Okay, it's positive and it's odd. That's the guarantee of what my picture will look like. In this one here, this is negative and odd. Okay, so as an example, I could have like f of x is equal to like negative 5x to the 7th. That means I'm going to go up on the left and down on the right. And then the only other one left is if I'm going to have, this is going to be positive and sorry, I lost my train of thought here. This is negative and even, my bad. So if it's negative and even, then I'm going down left and down right. So as an example, something that would be negative and even would be like negative 5x to the 4th or something like that. I have a negative leading coefficient and I have an even exponent. So this is the leading coefficient test. It's all based upon whether or not the leading coefficient is positive or negative and whether the exponent is even or odd. Sorry about this one over here, but we got it all straightened out now. Okay, in box number 3, we're going to do 3 examples together using the leading coefficient test to determine the end behavior. So this sort of LCT means leading coefficient test. Okay, so here we go. Let's do number A. It says x cubed plus 3x squared minus x minus 3. Well, we only have to concern ourselves with the leading coefficient. So I have basically a 1 x to the third. So therefore, this number is positive, and this number is odd, okay? Positive and odd. So if I do a little cheat sheet and I go back up to box number 2, positive and odd, that means I'm going to have this graph right here. So it's going to rise on the right and fall on the left. So the way that we write that down is we say up right, down left, down left. Okay, or you could say down left and up right. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me. Okay, part B. We have negative 5x to the fourth plus 6x squared plus 2x plus 5. So let's take a look at the leading coefficient. I have a negative 5 and x to the fourth. This number is negative, and this number is even. Okay, so let's do a little cheat sheet. Let's go back. Which one of these represents negative and even? That's the one that I messed up on, right? So this is going to be down left and down right. Down left, down right. Down left and down right. Okay, now, part C, you'll notice there's a star next to this thing, okay? What you have to do first in order to get part C right is you need to multiply this whole thing through. So I'm going to go ahead and pause and then multiply this out for you, okay? Okay, so I did all this, I multiplied this part out, and then I multiplied these two together, and then I finally multiplied these two together. But I only really needed the leading coefficient. So once I figured that out, I could stop because that's all I really care about. So this is negative 4x to the 6. So this number is a negative number, and this is even. Okay, so really, which one am I looking for? If I have negative and even, well, that would be this one over here, right? Negative and even. Again, the one that I messed up on earlier. Okay, so this thing is going to go down on the left and down on the right. So down left and down on the right. Hopefully that part makes sense to you. Okay, box 4 is a U try. So it says, given the graph of the function below, this is a polynomial function, what must be true about the leading coefficient? So basically I'm looking for which one of the 4 must it be. So hopefully you realize that this should be a negative and an odd, because this is rising on the left and falling on the right hand side. So the leading coefficient must be a negative number and the exponent must be odd.